turns out some of the top conservative think tanks are funneling a lot of that money to the top right-wing talk show hosts. So, Heritage Foundation, probably the largest conservative think tank, has given $2 million to Rush Limbaugh and $1.3 million to Sean Hannity. Now, they give it to their program, and then they get ads and promotion, etc., for that deal. Now, I'm a little split on this. By the way, there's a lot of think tanks doing it now. Freedom Works, Americans for Prosperity, two so-called Tea Party groups, also giving to Glenn Beck. Freedom Works is a big sponsor of Glenn Beck. And Mark Levine is another host that's getting some of this money. Now, the reason I'm split on it is, one is, it's logical, right? Now, if you're looking to get new conservatives, going to Rush Limbaugh's program or Glenn Beck's program is a sensible place to go to, raise up your email list or to your donors or whatever. And some of these groups say, hey, we made more money, and that's why the ads make sense, because people signed up and we made a lot of money off the sign-ups, off the programs. So I'm not hating on it. The problem, though, that this presents is that, are they really representing their true opinions, Rush Limbaugh, et cetera, or are they getting paid a lot of money to just present the opinions of these think tanks? Now, it's tough to tell because they're so like-minded, and so, again, I'm being fair there, saying I get why that happens. On the other hand, let's say they disagreed, and you got $2 million coming in, and they're not paying you for your disagreement, they're paying you for your agreement, right? And Rush Limbaugh has defended, for example, the Heritage Foundation on air, not as part of an ad, but as like, oh, no, the Heritage Foundation, they're definitely, because these people have internal conflicts from time to time. And what the smaller conservative think tanks or charities are concerned about is that the big guys are pushing them out and overpowering them by buying the conservative talk show hosts. Is that happening to some degree? Oh, of course it is. There's no question about that. But, and look, again, to be fair, like Beck says, hey, you know what? I advertise Freedom Works, and he says sometimes when he's talking positively in the middle of the show about Freedom Works, says, look, I'll be doing an ad for them a little later. Okay, so that's good. He should do that, right? Now, having said all this, the main problem is the guys who fund the think tanks. The guys who fund them are, obviously some of the richest people in the country, some of the corporations that are going to benefit from some of the laws that are passed, and of course, Koch Industries has funded all three of those groups, right? Now, there are other funders as well, but Koch Industries is a huge funder for all three of those groups. So Koch Industries wants less EPA regulation because they're one of the top polluters in the country. And some of their products have carcinogens, and they want to make sure that does not get regulated, that gets into our products that we either consume or use, right? So, lo and behold, Glenn Beck, Sean Hannity, et cetera, the rest of them are like, oh, the EPA, nonsense. Okay. Oh, the regulations. Oh, we're over-regulated. I can't believe how over-regulated we are. How did I do, David Koch? Did I do all right? Charles Koch? Everybody happy? Okay. And, of course, they're against cap and trade, and you can go down the list. Banks give money to think tanks, and all of a sudden, the think tanks turn around and give millions of dollars to Rush Limbaugh. All of a sudden, Rush Limbaugh is totally in favor of deregulating the banks. Look, he probably would have been there anyway. He probably would have had that opinion anyway because he gets paid for that opinion all along anyway, right? Look at his advertisers, et cetera, right? Is it a coincidence that Glenn Beck thinks that the greatest thing you should buy right now because of the calamities that are about to fall upon us is gold and his main sponsor is Goldline? Look, so I know how it works. I understand. But I'm letting you know so you know where all this is coming from. So the Rush Limbaughs and all those guys are never going to disagree with the Koch brothers because that's where their bread gets buttered. So all those top guys who the main thing they want is lower tax cuts, right? I mean, more tax cuts, lower tax rates, right? And so you will never hear any of those talk show hosts saying, hey, you know what? Maybe we should have a reasonable rate tax structure. They weren't saying it before. They certainly ain't going to say it now. So again, mixed feelings. Some of the ideas are similar anyway, and it makes sense that those groups would want to get membership from that audience. But at the same time, I'm sure it greatly influences the opinion of those hosts, and they should try to be as upfront about it as possible.